This program is intended for a mature audience. If you are not 18 or older, stop listening and find more age-appropriate content. This show will cover topics in a satirical manner. If you are offended by any content herein, that is your own problem. As you have been warned, please do not try this at home, or anywhere else for that matter.
And now, for the most famous words in motorsports.
Oh, hell no!
Hey guys, welcome to Blown Pistons. I'm your host, Gremlin Dave. With me today, we have Tripper.
Hello.
We have Tim from Texas Hot Rod Magazine.
Hey, how are y'all?
And we have, Gary kind of sitting around chilling. You might hear him, might not. Oh, well. If we do, we do. We don't, we don't. So, no, I'm doing great. Busy with kids and all that stuff. So, yeah, like I said, I wanted to catch up because I know it's been a while since we've talked to Tim. We've went through pretty much like almost a whole season, at least up here, our season anyways. I don't know if your guys' season down there lasts longer than ours. I'm assuming it does. But just wanted to check in, see how everything's been going with you.
There's something going on in any given time or any given weekend throughout the year here, unless we're having a hurricane or bad weather or something like that. I mean, something is going on.
Did you guys get affected by the hurricane?
No, not this one. I think the only thing that we got, well, we didn't get anything up here, but on the coast, they put out, like a small craft warning around the Gulf. But I mean, nothing. We didn't get anything out of it. No benefit.
Well, that's good. So now, how I know of like watching or on the Facebook and stuff like that, you guys have been busy down there. It looks like.
Oh yeah, we've been trying to hit up as many car shows or as many as we can get plugged in, at least 2 a month. We just did one in Dallas in a place called Deep Ellum, which is kind of a culture area on the southeast side of Dallas. Anyway, it was really cool. Brought in a lot of period correct hot rods, 60s and down. Those are my kind of style. A couple of rat rods, but mostly good looking hot rods is in there. So I really, there's too many to say, hey, I have a favorite. So they were all my favorites.
It's always a good problem to have.
Exactly.
Yep. But C10s in the Park was another one we did back in September, last weekend in September. It was nothing but C10s, and that show just blows up every year. It's a one-day event. It's all C10 pickup trucks, the 80 square bodies and down. He allows 800 into the park, and the show keeps growing. So those who did not get pre-registered or registered to go into the show actually they just parked on the outside and set their own show up on the overflow parking out there. So there was a show, and then there was another show on the outside. So there was probably close to 1,300 C10 style pickup trucks, panels, stuff like that there.
Oh, wow. Well, that's really cool. I mean, up here, I don't know if you could get 1,300 of them that aren't rusted out to even be in one place. So.
Not likely.
I'm sure you've probably looked for some of those. Have any, Tripper?
Oh, yeah, I've owned a few, and they've all been rotted out piles. Not a one of them you'd want to drive to a show.
Man.
I see you're sporting the showing off the old Mustang right there, Tripper.
Yeah, I decided to sit out back because it's nice out today. We get last of the nice weather here before it snows, and got the old green truck and Mustang out back, Jeep and O2 are out front.
So do you guys have any other big shows coming up here shortly?
Oh God, yeah. We have a new one for us. It's been around probably 30 years, but this show is in Lake Livingston, Conroe. It's called the Wolf Creek. It's at the Wolf Creek Chamber of Commerce is putting it on, and there was upwards of probably 300 to 400 cars there. This is actually going to be on Lake Livingston on the lake. It's a 3-day event. We're going down Friday. This is happening October 14th through the 17th. We'll go down Friday. We rented a camper. We're going to have a camper there. We're going to stay there all weekend. We're bringing our full setup and going to post up and sell our T-shirts, and all our other stuff that we have, magazines and coloring books and things like that. But along with this show, I think what draws everybody in is they have a big craft event that goes along with it. So it's not just the car show that's going on. They're having a craft event going on. And, while the guys are out checking out the cars and talking and getting up with their buddies and stuff, their wives and their girlfriends are out shopping and spending money and getting ready for, we got Thanksgiving coming up and Christmas and those who like to dress up for Halloween and all those, the holiday season's getting upon us. So all that kind of stuff will be going on there.
Cool.
But we have that show, and then we have another big one that's going to be in Temple, Texas, the Ribs and Rods. It's a barbecue cook-off and car show in one. And this show here goes off. It's in a real nice area. It used to be a horse ranch, and the owners passed away, and they left it to the city of Temple, and they turned it into a park. And they allow for different events, weddings, things like that. And Stephen Bramblett, the one who's putting this show on, he's had it here for the past several years, and it draws a big crowd. But it's an actual bona fide barbecue cook-off event. It's sanctioned by whatever the barbecue deal is. But you have to be part of that group to be able to barbecue. And it spills over into the car show because they take participants from the car show to help judge the barbecue.
Oh, cool.
And then the barbecue people will supply he has a rib eating contest there. So, somebody gets tagged to supply the ribs for the rib eating contest, and that's always big. There's 40, 50 people that will be in the rib eating contest, and some of them are just going in there to have lunch. They'll take a couple of ribs to go on. But then you have the actual competitors. They're all on the front row. Beer chug contest, milk chug contest, pickle eating, all kinds of things happen throughout the day. Move in on Friday night. They have a drive-in. They bring out one of those inflatable screens and
cool.
set it up. And the cars pull up in front of it, and they have like a drive-in movie theater. And they play, movies that are themed with hot rods, like
Two-Lane Blacktop or something like that.
Yes, that was a couple of years ago. Smokey and the Bandit, American Graffiti. I can't think of all of them.
Suppose
the one.
If you did it more towards Halloween, you do like Christine or Maximum Overdrive or something.
Well, we have kids here, so we have to watch that. Now, speaking of Maximum Overdrive, it was out at Battle in Bama this year. They brought the actual Maximum Overdrive, the 18-wheeler with the clown on the front of it.
Yep.
He was at Battle in Bama show.
Oh,
and he's
cool.
actually doing some of the shows on the East Coast. So, maybe you'll get to see him. But yeah, that thing was there and it was cool. It was, seeing that lime green face coming at you.
Gives you flashbacks to the movie.
Yeah. And, little kids think it's a clown because that, even kids from 20 and down, they really don't know what that is because, Maximum Overdrive was the movie back in the 90s? Early 90s, late 80s?
I think so, because I know that, was it Emilio Estevez? That was like one of his first shows, and that's when he was doing like Young Guns and all that stuff. And that was pretty close to one of his first movies.
he was dating Paula Abdul. Or wasn't he married to her?
I am not sure.
Anyway, he was a player back then.
Well, him and his brother both, I think.
His brother's a bigger player.
Yeah. There's a joke in there, but I don't know if I can really put it on the show. But I know we've joked about it, like shots from the balconies, like, well, at least he stays positive. But anyways, I'm surprised Tripper didn't beat me to that one.
No, trying to be reformed,
Yeah, right. You reformed?
Yeah. Some days.
So, have you do they do any like really wild car shows down there? Like they want like some really wild stuff?
Yeah, they have the Texas Heat Waves, that series of events. They have all kinds. They have the bikini contest going off, the burnout contest. They're morphing from the burnout contest. Now they're putting in pits that allow you to go out there and do donuts and just drive crazy and stuff like that. The Heat Waves, there's like several events. They have the big one that's in Austin, and then they have one in South Padre Island, and that goes off. That correlates with spring break. So you got all the young girls down there from spring break. All the kids are coming down there, so that helps that show go off. But to be honest, those two shows, the Heat Waves, as good as they are, I haven't been able to, and my schedule's so busy that we don't ever get a chance to go to them. And the guy that puts them on, his name is Chris, or helps put them on. His name is Chris, and he promotes throughout the year for the show. So it's pretty wild. But yeah, there's different shows, different events happen all the time that are just, they go off the lowrider shows that happen. I mean, there was a good one that just went off at Texas Motor Speedway a couple of weekends ago, and that's always a good event. The dog shows, but there's, like I said, on any given weekend, you can pick and choose whatever you want to go see or whatever you want to go do. If the weather's bad in your area, you can drive 40 miles and be in good weather and go to another event. So there's always something happening.
That'd be probably something you'd be interested in, Tripper, the donk show.
I don't know. We definitely don't get a lot of those shows around here.
No, we don't.
Honestly, the whole car scene around here in general is kind of petered off in the last decade or so. The shows are fewer and farther in between, and we only get 3 months of good weather to actually enjoy our junk.
Well, I mean, like we have Automotion in the Dells, which is pretty big, but that's once a year, and then Beloit Autorama, they had that, which usually brings in a pretty good crowd. Other than that, there really isn't much. I mean, there's little car shows here and there all over the place, but nothing that seems to be really advertised or anything extremely large.
No, maybe 100, 150 cars at most of them. Yeah, I mean, Automotion's a big one, but again, it's turned into just a bunch of crazy kids with diesel pickups and race burners and stuff. And
pretty much. And
it's a zoo.
when you try to drive through the town, I mean, on a normal day, it takes 5-10 minutes to drive through the Dells?
Yeah.
Now, when Automotion's there, it takes you about 4 or 5 hours because it's just packed and it's almost no fun. You can't even really go to many car shows.
That's if you don't get in an accident trying to get through the town.
True. Yeah, it gets crazy.
When things like that, I mean, I know there's some good shows up in that area. I don't know about in Wisconsin in particular, but like in Chicago, Illinois, the Good Guys Nationals?
Oh, okay.
Is happening up somewhere this weekend. And the Good Guys Nationals are the guys that do the Good Guys show, they just moved from California and moved their headquarters to Texas Motor Speedway up there in Fort Worth, Texas. So, and they have, you know, of course, they've been having their show there for the last 5 or 6 years at the Motor Speedway, but they're branching off and doing some other things. But I know somewhere up north, I don't keep up with it, you know, up in y'all's area very often, but I see shows. There's like the C10 National Show. It's happening in Tennessee. Of course, that's not north. That's more southeast for y'all. Kentucky, of course, the Corvettes. There's always a big Corvette contingency that runs through there. The Hot Rod Tour, that is, last year, they were up in Milwaukee, Davenport, Iowa. They did like a 500-mile loop somewhere up in that area, stopping at the drag strips, you know, and, you know, on the Hot Rod Tour, they tour the cars and they go to the drag strip, and then you do the drag strip stuff. And then the two guys on Roadkill, you know, David Freiberger and Faster with Finnegan, both of them, they have the you know, the Duct Tape Nationals, and they're expanding that off into the northeast.
Oh, cool.
So Finnegan is up from around that area somewhere. He's up in the northeast. I don't remember where, but I know he's got a shop up in that direction. So that's why they're trying to expand it and start capturing a bunch of stuff. And, you know, and y'all being up there, it shouldn't be, you know, the shows that I remember that were up there, they were always, you know, like at the fairgrounds and stuff, and they were always really, really big shows. You know, it was a big event. It was like you had the car show and then something else was going on, and you know, they had the parades, cars coming down the road. Where does that happen at? Is that in Indiana? The 500 where the Indianapolis?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
It's Indianapolis. Yeah. I know we have one thing like close to us is Jefferson Car Show swap meet, which is usually fairly big, but it's more or less a swap meet instead of like too much of the car show. You usually got like 30 cars there. But I think we have was it Viola?
Yeah, Iola's not too far.
Iowa, okay. Which that usually brings in a pretty good scene for cars, but yeah, anything like a bigger show, it's usually a lot more spread out and there's not a whole lot going on for it, which really sucks. But that was something we're actually got something in the works, which I still need to talk to Tripper about on some of this. But once we have it figured out, I'm gonna basically throw it out there, but trying to get a car show started around here for us. And I think I've got the area, I've got everything so far.
I might be able to make a vehicle that far. I drove the old Jeep like about 65 miles today. That's the most I've ever tried to drive it. It survived. It boiled the battery on the drive home, but you know, you'll get that.
Well, it's right next to a bar that I'm not a big fan of, but it's right behind the back bar.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we've got something big in the works there.
Yeah, some of my truck might make that far.
I would hope so. Hell, I hope the Mustang can make it that far.
I don't know. I posted that for sale today.
Oh, my car?
Oh, your Mustang? I was talking about my Mustang.
I was going to say, what'd you do? Come over to my house and post my car for sale?
Yes, that's something I would do.
Yeah, I can picture you doing that. As long as you get enough for it.
I mean, what, like 10 grand to cover what you got into it?
That's a lot more than I was thinking, but yeah, sure, why not? I'm not going to complain with that. Like, how much you got the old Fox body on there for now?
I put it up for 33 or best. I figured it's with getting married and everything, it's going to be at least 2 years before I can really think about doing anything to it. And I'm like, you know, if somebody will give me decent money for it, I'll sell it. If not, I'll just tuck it back out underneath the deck and let it sit until I'm ready for it. Yeah, 94, the plate's expired on it, so.
I remember back in, when was it? 1980, 88, 89. I bought a Celine Mustang down here. and had to be put on a waiting list whenever I bought it. And then once you bought the car, you had to sign up for driving classes. We had to go through Bob Bondurant and learn how to drive the car to what it was, what it was actually built for. That was an experience.
That'd be pretty cool.
I had that. Yeah, I had it for a couple of years. Ended up selling it, but that was
probably worth a fortune now.
Oh yeah, everything has gotten so expensive. I mean, even parts. It doesn't matter even for stock cars. Parts is crazy.
Yeah, I built a '49 Studebaker pickup back in the day, and like, you look at today's prices now, and it's like there's no way I could have afforded to build that. It was narrowed up 4-link Dana 60 turbo 400 with a trans brake and all that stuff, and it was like, at the time you could find the stuff reasonably priced. You could find it used at a decent price, and it's like now you're almost better off buying the stuff new. Everybody wants so much for used, and it's like, I think that's a lot of what's hurting it around here is like people are just not willing to spend the money right now to build the stuff or finish the project. So it's like the shows have kind of petered down a bit, and the whole state of the world didn't help that a couple years ago, but it kind of came back up, and it never came back to where it was before that, really. Like, and honestly, the last couple of years I haven't had the time to get out to the shows like I used to, but it'd be nice to put something together. Like I said, I've got my little Jeep, but that thing, it's about 55, 60 is all it's going to do. So it's like, you're not going super far to a show in that one, but.
Right.
Sorry about that, guys. My son is learning how to use the grill, and he's making burgers out there, and the juices from the burgers are making the flames shoot up. So he's like, oh my God, I don't know what to do.
Panic. Yes. Panic.
Yeah, pretty much. It was panic. But no, I'm like, dude, just keep flipping the burgers. You don't want to burn them too much. And the ones that aren't as cooked go on the flame. The ones that aren't, pull them off a little bit. He's doing a good job though. Can't complain.
At least you're not having to cook it.
Exactly. That's my point.
Soon he'll be doing the barbecue at the car show.
Works for me.
But that'd be a really cool event.
Yeah, because, I might as well just do it because we actually have, as I was saying beforehand, as it was cutting out and nobody could hear me, we have kind of a new sponsor.
Cool.
They are Heartbreak Automotive here in Janesville. Well, not here in Janesville. We're in Milton, technically. But in Janesville, Heartbreak Automotive, 1903 Beloit Avenue, Janesville, Wisconsin. Yeah, guys, look them up. And if you guys go in there and say that, hey, I heard you on Blown Pistons, 5% off.
Nice.
So, but he wants, the guy that runs it, great guy, call him JC. He just basically got this place up and running, and he's doing a open house, or not open house, but like a grand opening next spring. And we were kind of talking because his wife and my wife are really good friends. And he's like, yeah, I want to do a grand opening. He's like, well, why don't we do a car show? He's like, oh yeah. And he's like, I've got enough room. I could, park like probably 100, 150 cars in there. He goes, I've got an area for a burnout pit. I've got room to do like food trucks and all this stuff. So next spring sometime, once we get the date worked out, we're going to have Blown Pistons car show.
There you go.
I'll definitely make sure I have some clapped out beater to take to that.
I would hope so.
It might win worst in show.
Yeah, that's something that we got to get I got to figure out too, like trophies and all that fun stuff. So it's going to be new. It's something I've never done before. And if you don't have anything going on that weekend, you guys are more than welcome to come up and advertise up there and stuff.
Bring some barbecue with you.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be good. Some good Texas barbecue. I'm down for that.
Yeah. We have so many barbecue places around here. It's gotten to, it used to be you'd be able to tell who had the best barbecue. But now there's so many of them, and they all do it different. and it just depends on what your taste is. If you like it, if you like brisket or ribs or chicken or
Yep.
they're eating barbecue and
Yes.
burgers.
No, that is awesome. Like I said, I'd love to go down. I've myself never been down there. I know Tripper goes. He's been down with his fiance because his fiance's daughter lives down there.
Yeah, East Texas. Nice
But
area.
That's where
I liked it. I'd go back.
we're at in East Texas.
Around the Palestine area.
Oh, well, she's not but about 40 miles from me. I'm in Fairfield. I'm west of, my wife works in Palestine.
Okay.
Well, there you go.
She
Next
works
time
at
you
the
guys,
hos-
next time you go down there, Tripper, you have to stop in and say hi.
Yeah, I'll have to look them up.
Yeah.
So we went to a
For
little
us-
show down there, just kind of, it was almost like a cars and coffee kind of thing. It was just like some shop was doing their own little, like, basically private show, but they'd advertised it, so we just kind of popped over and looked around. It's like, you see the stuff that hasn't been restored down there, and it's like, oh, why can't I find that up here? It's like, up here, that thing's worth a fortune. Down there, they're just like, oh, that's just, that's our daily drivers. That's not even the car show. And you're like, what? I'll take them.
Yeah, that must have been at the rail yard. Was it a paint body shop, custom auto paint body shop?
I think so. They had like an old 67 to 72 sitting in the shop, and they had a full-size Jeep out front, actually, which you don't see a lot of anywhere, let alone down in Texas. They were fairly common up here, but they all rotted in half. It was neat. Like I said, it was a real small show. They had a band playing or something. So, we didn't end up staying long, but we looked at all the cars and, everybody welcomed us right in. And I'm pretty sure it was just like kind of a private show. I don't know that we were actually supposed to be there, but hey, it was on Facebook. We found it and we went to it.
Yeah, it's open. That's at the rail yard paint body, and they do that whenever, like once a month, and starting on the cooler months, like right now, they're fixing to kick that back off again. So yeah, it was like on a Friday night whenever you go in there and everybody's parked up, but it's not a private event. It's open to everybody.
Well, that's cool. I mean, at least there's one thing you guys got in common right there.
Yeah. Apparently we played in the same neighborhood one day.
Possibly we were there at the same time. Were they whenever
possible.
you went, did they have all the tables set up on the inside like they were having a birthday party?
I think so. Yeah, it looked like somebody's birthday party or like a company party of some sort, basically.
That might have been that was last year. Had to have been last year. Or
Yeah, last August, I think, was when we were down there.
that was it. The latter part of last year. I
That's
could probably
cool.
even some pictures from there. I had a buddy of mine who had they painted it the Mustang. He's got a 06 I don't even know what it is. It's just a regular Mustang, but he put a Paxton blower on it. He's got it all hit up. I don't remember what all he's done to this thing, but he's had it like 3 different shops. But anyway, they painted this car for him, painted it back to the original silver. So, oh yeah,
Cool. It's got to look better than mine, though, or at least.
I would assume so.
Like-
Mine's a 30-footer.
I think if you close both eyes, mine looks all right.
No, yours, I think, paint job looks better than mine.
Well, only the parts I buffed. That's the problem. So I buffed there, and I didn't any of that yet. And then there's the sweet roof dents. But yeah, I mean it's better than the big giant blue truck I had that I traded it for.
I know you hated that thing, didn't you?
Oh god, that thing was a nightmare.
So is a Jeep now pretty much your daily driver?
It has been. I think I might have to park it now for a little bit here. It's like I said, it basically boiled the battery on the drive home today, so I got to sort that out. I think it's an internally regulated alternator, so I think I can just get a different alternator put on and probably be back to driving it. But That thing's actually wandering around. That thing's out front. That's been daily driving.
Well, I mean, you've done a lot of work to that thing.
Oh yeah, it was, again, another one sitting 25-ish years, complete basket case. But yeah, it's, hood's popped because it's half broken again. But yeah, I actually managed to put several hundred miles on it between breakdowns this time. So that's progress, I'd say.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's not on the side of the road.
No, it's not. I don't think it's left me stranded yet. Like actually stranded. It always makes it home. The worst it did is it barfed out like 4 quarts of oil one day on the drive up to my mom's, and then I still drove it home. But it made a whole hot mess of undercoating underneath itself.
I suppose.
Those are getting.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, those are getting popular down here. The J10s, the Grand Wagons, the older ones built in the 70s and the early 80s. The wood bog, the fake wood siding is. You come across one of those, you got a gold mine on your hand.
Oh yeah, they're outlandish. They've gotten wildly popular, but you figure all the people that grew up with them and remember them, now they're of that age, their kids are grown, they have the money to have the toy, and they're like, what? I have fond memories of ripping around in that thing, getting 6 miles to the gallon and randomly catching on fire, but that's fine. I mean, minor Jeep problems.
Oh, there you go. So if you want to sell that, just take it down there and make some money on it.
Oh, they'd laugh at that thing. She's rough. Like I said, I had to put all the floors in it and had to find a tailgate, and it's getting there. Lots of welding and fabbing and fixing, and like I said, the whole rear bumper had just completely rotted all the way off the truck. So I built one of those, and it's a slow project. I've had it, 1.5 years? But even since I got it, the price on those has gotten absolutely outlandish. Like there's no way to buy one now. I couldn't afford one.
Yeah.
To get a rotted out one that'll drive is almost $5,000 now. And it's like, I don't think they're worth all that. But, I got mine for a trade deal. I traded off a big lifted square body Chevy for it, and about the same shape, needed everything. But yeah, it's just been slow process of finding parts, fixing it up. And that's the one I'm trying to keep. So pretty much all the other ones, I'm like, yeah, whatever, they can go. The Mustang, it wouldn't hurt my feelings to see it sit until I can get to it. But if somebody will buy it, somebody will buy it. And if not, it'll get parked back out back, and I'll forget I own it until after I'm married.
Well, that'd be a good donor car for like a 351 or something.
Yeah, I mean, there's no sense trying to keep it a V6 auto car. It's not like those are real desirable, but it's a notchback, which, guys like those. So we'll see. Mm-hmm. If not, I'll V8 it and manual swap it and all that fun eventually.
Yeah, because I mean, that one, like you showed me, the strut towers and all that stuff aren't rotted out. The undercarriage is like beautiful on that thing.
I mean, down in Texas, they're like, what? Those things rot out? They're fine. I've been daily driving one of those for 250,000. It's just fine. And it's like up here, it's like, oh, I drove it one winter accidentally and it folded in half. My
bad. that with those, yeah, up here, yeah, that usually happens.
Yeah, they're notoriously bad for just rotting out all the structural points. And it's like this one, they're all pristine on it. So, if somebody wanted to build one, it's a great project for it. And I'm under no false concept that it's like the cleanest one on the planet, because I've been down south and I've been out west, and I lived in Colorado, and they didn't use road salt, so everything out there, they'd drive it until literally the engine was just dead tired, the transmission go out, the rear end to be wore out, whatever, but the whole body would be just pristine and the interior's cooked out of it. It's like the guy was motivated enough with a truck and a trailer, you start dragging them back up here and putting drivetrains in them, and you'd have a little gig.
Yeah. Well, it's like, look at my truck. I need a body for that thing. Mechanically, it runs fine, it's sound, but the body is gone.
Yep.
You can stick your finger through the cab.
Man.
Well, it's
No,
it's an 05 F250 with the 6-liter in it, but it's been bulletproof. So the engine itself, transmission, all that stuff under the truck is great. Frame's fine. I think the only body panel that's not rusted out right now is the hood. But you can stick your finger through everything else.
Good.
It's the new lightweight model, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna be driving it and fall through it.
Pretty much that's how the bed is. The bed's got a couple holes in the back. So I found some old license plates that I've managed to collect from other vehicles that I've had throughout the years. And I just got some self-tapping screws and filled the holes in the back of the bed with the license plates.
It's bad up here, and they keep finding more and more creative ways to melt the snow, and all it does is just rot our vehicles out faster.
Yeah.
It don't take much anymore up here. It's like you get 3-4-year-old vehicles and you can put your fist through the box side on them, and it's like, how are we getting away with this? Like, people are just really just like, oh, okay, I spent $60,000 on a new truck, and oh, look, it's rotting out already. It's like, ugh. I tell you what, I go shopping for a decent vehicle. I'm heading south or west, somewhere to get one that isn't already starting to rot out, because again, a 3-4-year-old vehicle here is already rusty.
Yeah, but then you bring it up here and it's going to rust right through.
Well, yeah, but then you get like 3-4 years out of it.
Yeah, true.
If you buy one that's 3-4 years old, you get like 2 years and it folds in half, and you're like, oh, oops.
Yeah, you guys get lucky down there. You don't have to deal with that crap at all, do you?
No, they don't put. They put something on the road, but not enough to where it would affect the car or a truck like what it does up there. I mean, when it snows here, it's like one event, maybe a week, 2 weeks long, and then that's it. And that's even if it happened. And it's only done that since I've been up here like 3 or 4 times. So we don't have that. You don't have to where you go to the car wash. Up there you go through the car wash, and they've got the underbody spray to spray out the bottom to try to help get rid of it. They've only just recently started putting them here, and that's just to get the cow shit sprayed off the bottom of your car. So it's not for, we're not going to blow the salt or anything off, but we might need to get that or, the mud or whatever. If we've been out in the field, out in the pasture, feeding cows or whatever, bring it in, wash it off so the mud don't stick in it.
Yeah, might as well.
Oh yeah, it's. I mean, that's about. We're not. If it's rusting out, if you find one down here that's rusting out like that, it's either A, somebody didn't take care of it, or B, it's from down on the coast, down around Galveston. They rot out fairly quickly, just about like they do up north, and it doesn't take very long. So if you have a vehicle down there, then you can expect it to, because the wind's always blowing off the Gulf. It's always blowing south, and it blows the salt up on the mainland. From Galveston, say all the way up to Houston, you can expect to have a little body rust on your car because of the salt air. I'm sure that's like anywhere.
I forgot all about that. Being next to the ocean, you guys would get some, the towns that are next to the ocean, you guys would get some salt.
Yeah, we don't get that up here though, so we're good. We get vehicles with miles on them. Like my truck, I got a 01 GMC Yukon that we use to tow our trailer with. And, on the outside, the inside's clean, the outside's clean. It's a real nice vehicle. It's a 01. It's almost got 300,000 miles on it. But I have no problem in jumping in it, and taking off to Louisiana, hauling a trailer. I mean, we've been out to from where I'm at to Abilene. That's a 4-hour drive, and 4 hours there, 4 hours back. So it's I have no problems with it. If you take care of them, they'll last as long as you take care of them until they eventually wear out. But it's got the little 5.3 LS in it, so it runs like a top. So, but I bought it that way. I bought it used at 200,000 miles. You know, and I've got an old 5 Dodge Ram that has 214,000 miles on it, and 90% of those miles were put on by me. Me and my wife going all over Texas. It's the mileage down here that gets you. It isn't the rust, it's the mileage.
Ours are lucky to make it 200,000 before they're just rotted out to beat the band.
Pretty much.
Damn.
Well, I know I had a Jeep Cherokee that I made 240,000 miles, and it actually wasn't so bad when I sold it. But that thing ran forever.
Oh yeah, those do. Like, you know, I've got that 02 Silverado, and it purrs like an absolute kitten, 195,000 on it. Air conditioning works, all that, everything. It shifts good. It's maybe got another year to live. You know, one more winter, and the thing's going to have no body left whatsoever. The bottom 5 inches of it's pretty much gone already. So I just built a new rear bumper for that thing because the chrome was still intact, but there was no steel structure inside of it at all. You know, you couldn't stand on it to get up into the bed of the truck. It was just gone.
Oh man. And that's a shame. I mean, the guys down here, if they don't take care of it, they'll run it. The bodies, everything will be perfect. Transmission, all the drivetrain will be nice. Or all the body will be nice. Let me rephrase that. The transmission or the engine is crapped out on. I mean, that'd be ideal if your engine, transmission, your drivetrain's still good. Come down here, grab your body, take it back, swap it out, keep on rolling.
Yeah, that's what I need to do with my truck.
That's what I need to do with all my vehicles, basically.
Swap them out.
Just go down, get a nice body that's like blown up or got a bad transmission, drag it up here and stuff my junk in it. And
there you go.
$500, $1,000, you could buy the whole truck, whole frame, whatever. You can get a Yukon, a Tahoe truck, take it back, put an engine transmission in it, keep on rolling.
That's what we should do. We should get a trailer and just go down there and buy a few things and bring it back.
I threatened to do that when we went on vacation, but I also don't have a truck to make it down there to haul anything back with. That's, you know, not going to break in half on the drive.
Well, my truck would make it down there. Body might fly off as we're going, but
wow, that's just better fuel economy.
Exactly.
Do away with the air conditioning.
Yeah, that was fun. I had an issue last year where I couldn't get the damn truck to run. Couldn't figure it out. Thought there was something bigger going wrong. Undid the belt, fired right up. Like, all right. Put the belt back on, wouldn't fire. And I mean, even Tripper came over to try to figure this thing out. Come to find out, the AC pump froze, and it just didn't have enough to keep pulling it around. So once I changed that out, damn thing runs great. But when you're working on a 6-liter, you just don't have a lot of room to see anything, and you can't figure anything out. And yeah,
that's why the quick release body, you just peel it off real quick.
Yeah, that thing. I think I had to end up going through. I had to take the wheel off, take the fender well out, and go through that way because there's no room to work on that thing. And about 10 hours and a lot of cussing later, I finally got it.
It'd be easier just to pull the whole front end off and then work on it and put it back.
Well, I know like the dealerships and that, they tell you what they do is they just take the whole front end off and the cab off whenever they're working on those engines.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that dropped.
I think I could pretty much push mine off anyways right now, but
just grab a loader and flip it off to the side, do your work and flop it back on.
Pretty much. Just get some duct tape for it.
A couple self-tappers, it'll be all right.
Well, I think right now I have roughly about 60 self-tapping screws in that to hold the bed down right now.
Perfect. Don't follow Dave down the road. Got it.
Well, I've got, it's strapped down by a metal strap that I had to put a couple of holes through the bed to come up and around through the bed. And then the front weld broke. that holds the bed to the back. That snapped. So yeah, there's a lot going on with that. Yeah. Thanks, bud. The joys of working at home.
There you go.
I mean, I can't complain. They're not screaming and fighting and trying to murder each other, so we're good.
There is that.
Especially when we have 6 boys, so yeah, there's a lot of that at times.
Oh yeah. You'll have that on these bigger families.
Well, I'm surprised that Tripper doesn't hear us at times with the kids fighting. I mean, you're only a couple blocks away.
Yeah, about a block and a half or so. I could probably just about see you if I stood up on something.
Probably. So I mean, yeah, it's in a small town, so you can drive from one end to another in about 2 minutes.
Unless schools are getting out, then it's like 20.
Oh yeah, that's horrible. Never hit the main drag during school release time.
Yeah, there's 6 schools in a 1 mile radius.
Yeah, where do all these kids come from?
All the other towns.
I don't know. You got 6 of them.
It's your fault, Dave. See?
Yeah, but at least, they're somewhat a little bit spread out. I mean, there's 4 in the high school, 1 in the middle school, and 1 in the elementary. So there's a little bit of a spread there almost.
Now, if each of your neighbors did that, times 2, and they had 2, and they had 2, then
Good point.
There you go.
And since you can't spell them or anything, so
let's hope not. Let me ask you this: do y'all have to drive your kids to school, or do they ride the school bus, or can they walk to school, or ride their bicycle, or anything? Because they can't do that around here. Somebody would pick them up, or things are just weird.
Well, mine, they used to get the school bus because I live between 2 railroad tracks, and they called that a danger zone. Well, apparently this year the danger zone is done. So now they either have the option of walking, riding their bikes, or my wife takes them when it's kind of crappy weather. And the one that's in junior or the intermediate school or junior high or whatever you want to put it as, he walks every day. He don't want to wait for a ride. So unless it's raining or snowing, he's walking. But the little guy, the little 8-year-old, he takes a bus, which his school is in between Tripper and I pretty much. Or no, it's on the other side. Never mind. You're in between the school and that.
Yeah. It's like a block and a half away.
Yeah. So, but yeah, he rides the bus.
Yeah, but you're not, the parents here in Texas, and you can probably see it on the TV all the time. There'll be a line of cars at schools, each of them, doesn't matter which one it is. High school is a little different. Most of the kids drive there, but mom and daddy or somebody is picking them kids up, dropping them off, and picking them up from school. We hardly see anybody walking or riding their bike like you used to. Like, when I was in high school, or when I was in elementary school, I was walking or riding my bike to school, and I had to ride almost 5 miles to my little elementary school where I went to school at, and, ride there and then ride home every day. So it's just an adventure.
Yeah, that's what I did. We pretty much have like 2 feet of snow on the ground, and it was either walk or ride the bike. And half the time I rode my bike and then walked when I couldn't, and then rode the bike again once I got through a snowdrift.
There you go.
Uphill both ways in the snow.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, we got talking about that with like my grandma and stuff. She always complained about, I'd walk up, 10 miles uphill both ways in the snow. And this, she's like, she had to add an extra little bit to that because they grew up about halfway through Wisconsin, and this is back in the 20s. And she's like, yeah, and then we got chased by wolves half the time. It's like, oh, okay. Fun.
She won up to everybody.
So no matter anything I could say, she managed to make it worse. And yeah, I guess, doing it uphill both ways in snow, not too bad. having wolves chase you sometimes.
Get there
Good.
quicker.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, she was one of 13 brothers and sisters, so they made more just in case something happened to another one. So,
Oops, we lost that one. Good thing we got a backup.
pretty much. Back in the old days during the Depression and the farming and stuff, yeah.
I just tend to collect crappy old cars instead of a whole bunch of kids.
I've done both lately, apparently. I mean, at least the Mustang kind of runs.
Yeah,
I
that's
trust
better
that.
than last year.
I trust it to drive to your house.
Yeah, you were over a couple weeks ago?
Huh?
Was that the maiden voyage of it again?
No, actually, I drove it from here to Racine for a car show. So it has been
the one at
one
the
car
airport?
show, and I made it back home, and that was an hour and a half drive. So it ran okay.
Better than any of my junk. About the only thing I could do that in is the 02 Silverado, and it's not going in any car shows ever.
Yeah, nobody even looked at it at the car show. So
Yeah, you went though. It's half the battle is going.
true. But I mean yeah, because it was for we had a gentleman on this podcast earlier this spring, I think.
Yeah, a couple months back.
Yeah, Evolution Auto Works. And he was the one that was actually doing the car show in Racine. And it was Wings and Wheels. So it was a little different. They had some planes there, some helicopters, and a bunch of cars. It's mainly like the JDM scene. So there wasn't a whole lot of old cars. There wasn't a whole lot of, Mustangs, Camaros, and stuff like that. It was just basically a lot of like Supras or Honda Civics and stuff like that. So it was okay. It's hard to see them being at a car show, but I guess being a car guy, you got to kind of, even if you don't like it, you got to kind of respect what somebody's done, as long as it's not that bad.
As long as it's not plasti dip and a set of wheels.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, the plastic dip thing. I would look to doing that on something that was like your truck that's rusted out, and you just want to cover up the spot or something. But I know a lot of people that do it, so is what it is.
Well, I mean, I've thought about just to make the Mustang kind of look nice for a season, but nah, I just need to get it painted. I started sanding on some of it and trying to get the clear coat fixed, because that's really the only thing wrong with my car. It's just the clear coat went to crap. But
Well, out there with 1,500 sandpaper and get busy. Pull it off.
yeah, once I can find the time. Working kids, they suck.
Yeah.
And usually it's like the moment I get time, it's like somebody needs something, so it's like, all right, never mind.
I say we get the privilege
Right.
of when we do find the time, the weather's crap, and when we have nice weather, we don't have any time.
Pretty much, because anything you got to do outside, it's usually a lot of yard work.
And here you are. You're fixing to get back into winter temps again. If not, are y'all already in the winter? I doubt it.
Not quite. We're in fall, but it came in with a vengeance this year. It went from like 90 to 50 in 2 weeks?
Overnight. Yeah. Yeah, it got cold fairly quicker this year than normal.
Yeah, we don't have that problem. It gets a little cooler, but it doesn't ever. We won't get into fall probably till November, even though it's supposed to be fall now. The temperatures, like today, is in the low 80s, started out in the low 70s. So for us, this is nice.
Cool.
But we ain't expecting any rain for the next 2 weeks either, so that's not doing us any good.
Well, I think we got flooded out, about a week ago or 2 weeks ago? It just kept raining and raining and raining.
Yeah, we had like 3 straight days of rain. That was obnoxious.
Tim, is there anything that you want to kind of, I guess, pimp out?
Well, our next show, like I said, we're going to be going to the Wolf Creek show down at Lake Livingston, and that's October 14th and 15th, and it's a big open event, so anything's welcome to be there. So it's not closed off. One show that I forgot to mention is the weekend after that, we're going to Rain, Louisiana, to do the Last Resort show. And it's another one that's on the lake, but it's more going to be your lowrider or mini trucks, modern trucks, 4-wheel drives, that type of event, which will be more for the younger generation. The Wolf Creek thing, you're going to see people, in the mid-30s and up, older people, their generation, they're going to bring out their play toys and come in. But the Last Resort, that's another one. That's the mini truck event. What was the other one we're going to do? Pistons and Paint in Denton, Texas. That's going to be another period correct show, 60s and down, all hot rods, one-day event. They bring out some good entertainment. What's his and the Thunderbirds, things like that. Joe Eli, he'll be playing. I think that's who's booked up for this year. I'd have to go back and look, but they usually have good entertainment there. People dress up in the period. They have the poodle skirts and
Oh, cool.
and the pants rolled up skirts. So it's a really good event. But yeah, we're just looking forward. We're going to wind down. We only have 2 events in November and 1 in December, which is the one we used to close out with, is Turkey Drag, and it's another open event, but it's more. It's going to be on the lake. It'll be on up in Lone Oak, Texas, and it's a camping event, 3 days. So, but we'll be up there for that, and this will be our 4th year to attend. But you never know what the weather's like. Last year it was nice. I mean, it was cool there in the morning, and during the day it didn't get so hot that you didn't sweat through 3 shirts and 2 pair of underwear. But the year before that, they had tornadoes come through and picked everybody's tents up and threw them out in the middle of the lake. So it's always a crapshoot what the weather's going to do. You might be crappy on the way on the Friday night, and Saturday sun be shining and everything be good. So, but that's just the way it is. But that's December 3rd, and that'll be our last show of the year. And we'll take the, December, January. We start off in February with the Lone Star Throwdown in Conroe, Texas, and then start ramping up again.
Awesome. And then, go ahead, Trevor.
Do you post your schedule up online, like where all the shows you're going to, or is it just kind of, if people see you there, they see you there?
No, I have them up online. Actually, what we did this year is we put up a subscription to our magazine. So you could buy a subscription. And what'll make it change is instead of just ordering a 6-issue subscription, you can pick the 6 shows from our list of the events you'd like to see, and those will be the ones that we send you. So we're not like a regular subscription. We're kind of like a specialty type of subscription. So you can actually, see our schedule, pick out the shows that you would like, So if you like the hot rod type events, you pick those. If you like the mini truck and the 4-wheel drives or anything like that, you can pick those, or you can pick a combination of them. Doesn't matter. I send them to you.
Cool. Yeah, we need to do one, be like, I don't know, the shit boxes of bad habits or something, or
I can contribute 4 to that.
I got 2.
I mean, technically 5 if you count the shelf that's not actually mine.
Yeah, see right there. Good picture.
Yeah. Be like, what do you use as a garage shelf?
Yeah, that's what year vet is
that? 78, I think. It's the 25th anniversary. Yeah, 78. There we go.
Yeah.
It's that one's a basket case. It was a family member that passed away, and it's kind of been on hold just because I haven't had the time to finish it.
Yeah.
Insignia on it, or is it just 25th anniversary?
It's basically just the 25th anniversary. It's L88, 100 and whatever, 57 horsepower, smogger, choke down thing. It's automatic. It's not a real special car, but it's sentimental to my brother, and he had to save it. And it's, even being a Corvette and not driven in the winter, the frames rotted out from underneath it halfway, and it needs a full rebuild. But I just got to weld the frame up and get it mechanically drivable, and it can go finally on down the road for him to poke away at the interior and stuff. Mice got it really bad, so
We've had that car in there for over a year, haven't you?
it's coming up on 2, I think. It's been a long journey here. It's again, I have all the parts finally. I just have to find the time to tear into it, and I've got a rust-free chunk of frame from California, and again, being a welder fabricator by day, I have the skill to fix it. I just have to find the time.
So, Tim, where can everybody find your stuff at?
You can find us online at www.fullthrottletex.com, and that's where we're at. We're also on Facebook, Instagram. If you want to follow us on there, just go to Facebook and go to Full Throttle Texas, and it'll pull up the link to our page, and you can follow us there and see what's happening, see our upcoming events. We post pictures sometimes from the events on there. When it's just me by myself, I don't have a whole lot of time, but I try to get some, put them on there, show you what's happening. Same thing on Instagram. We do a lot more on Instagram because it seems to be a lot more friendly. Here lately, Facebook done something, and I can't figure it out. It keeps switching. You can go to your profile or go to the other profile, and you click on something, and then you're God knows where. So I try to stay off of that one.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got some really cool stuff on your social medias. I mean, the pictures on there are really cool. So it is definitely worth checking out.
And we also, even when you go to the internet, you can go to the file or go to the website. You can click on where the pictures are, and it'll take you to where our picture gallery is, and you can go through and check out all the different shows we've been throughout this year. So we try to keep them all, the 22, the 21, anything after that I archive, because it gets kind of there's so many of them that it just takes up too much space. But it'll take up, if you click on one, it's going to take a lot to check it out. But they're worth it to go look at, because you'll see a lot of different stuff.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us tonight, Tim. It's been a blast as normal. Look forward to having you on again, definitely.
Okay. Anytime. January, February, when it's cold up there and y'all are busy drinking, what is that, Blatz beer or whatever it is, and y'all talk to somebody, give me a call.
Will do. But again,
okay, guys.
Like I said, thank you. And Tripper, thanks for being on.
Absolutely.
So, all right, guys. Well, that's been Blown Pistons, and you guys have a good night.
All right, man. I'll write you later.